permanent dedication of property by a Mohammedan for any charitable purpose recognized by the Mohammedan law. So the law of Waqf is a very important branch of Mohammedan law. It is interwoven with religious life and social economy of Muslims. So Waqf literally means detention. Waqf literally means detention. And but in Islam law, it means state land which is inalienable. It means Waqf literally means detention, but the Islam law it means state land which is not transferable, which is not alienable, and used for charitable purpose. The usufruct of that property, the income of that property, is used for charitable purpose. That is pious endowments. So this is Waqf. Term Waqf literally means detention. Sayyid Amir Ali say technically it means dedication in perpetuity of some specific property. Dedication of some specific property in perpetuity, permanently, for a pious purpose by a Mohammedan, or a succession of pious purpose. One purpose or succession of pious purpose. When a Waqf is made a property, the proprietary right of the Waqif, that is the person grantor who creates the Waqf is called Waqif or grantor, is divested therefrom, and it remains thenceforth from that time in the implied ownership of the Almighty God. Once a Waqf is created, the proprietary right, all rights of the founder of the Waqf, that is extinguished, and that proprietary right is created in favor of Almighty, that is God. And the usufructs of that property alone can be applied for benefit of human beings. But property remains under the ownership of God. And the subject of dedication is rendered inalienable. That property, once Waqf is created, that property is not transferable and non-heritable also. That cannot be inherited by any other. That becomes Waqf property. So you should keep in mind, Waqf property cannot be transferred, cannot be inherited. Once some Waqf is created, the ownership right of the grantor in that property are extinguished, and those rights are created in favor of Almighty, that is God. So, legal meaning of Waqf, according to the accepted doctrine of Hanafi school, is that extinction of proprietorship, ownership in the thing dedicated, and its detention in the implied ownership of the God. That is, it is detained. Under the ownership of God, the property is detained for all time to come. Only usufruct, income of that property can be used for the benefit of the mankind. So, that you should understand, when a Waqf is created, Almighty becomes the owner for all of that Waqf property. Human ownership is thereby extinguished. So, Islam believes that a human being derives ownership on a property through God. Derived ownership. The moment Waqf is created, the derivative ownership which has been given to that human being, that ceases, and the property reverts to the ultimate ownership of the Almighty. So once a property is subject to dedication, it becomes inalienable. It is not transferable at all. And then it is tied up, that is detained for all time to come. Only the usufruct or the income of that property can be used for the benefit of the mankind, that is religious purpose as recognized by the Mohammedan law. So first, you understood by now, you have understood what is waqf. So what is sadaq? Sadaq is a hiba, that is gift of property by a person for to any mosque or for any religious purpose. That property is gifted. So legal estate and not merely the beneficial interest passes to the charity to be held by the trustees appointed by. In case of sadaq, that property is given to a mosque or to any school or religious purpose, that is held by a trustee. But in waqf, legal estate or ownership does not vest in the trustee. Ownership doesn't vest in the trustee, but or mutawali. Mutawali means what? Who is the manager of the waqf is called mutawali, but that ownership is transferred to God. So in case of sadaq, both the corpus and the usufructs are given away, and the trustee can sell the property itself. But in case of sadaq, the property is alienable. But in case of waqf, the property is tied up under the ownership of Almighty. Only the usufruct can be used for the benefit of the mankind, that is for charitable purpose, as recognized by the Mohammedan law, and that is not transferable. So sadaq is a donation or a gift, but it is an endowment for charitable purpose. Now, what is the difference between hiba and waqf? In waqf, hiba, delivery of possession is essential. In waqf, inter-virus is completed by mere interview, simply by declaration. Even if possession is not declared, not delivered, still a waqf is completed. The doni, in case of hiba, the doni is a human being, but in case of waqf, the property is given to Almighty. The doni is the Almighty God. Absolute interest in the subject of is transferred to the doni, empowering him to deal with the property. But here, in case of waqf, the doni can use only the usufruct and not the corpus, that property itself. No limitation of the object for which it can be made in case of huba. So it is, but in case of waqf, that is made for religious purpose, charitable purpose. Waqf for family purpose is also valid if the ultimate gift to be a charity, charitable. In case of trust, what is trust? There is the Indian Trust Act. Trust is a declaration arising out of a confidence reposed on somebody and accepted by that person that he will hold certain property for the benefit of another. But in case of waqf, the property vests in the Almighty God. In case of trust, the property vests in trustee. No religious motive is required for trust. But in waqf, that is for pious, that is religious, pious or charitable purpose. In case of trust, the settlor or author of the trust may be beneficiary himself. The beneficiary himself, trustee may be himself be beneficiary. Except under Hanafi law, that is in waqf, the settlor or waqif cannot reserve any benefit for himself. There cannot be any benefit to the waqifi. The trustee has larger power than a mutawali. Mutawali means the manager of the waqf property is called mutawali. The mutawali is only a manager, or in case of waqf, is a superintendent of the property. A trustee is not entitled to any remuneration. According to here, a mutawali may claim remuneration. The property refers to the settlor or author of the trust in the resulting trust. That is, trust is frustrated, that comes back to the settlor. The Cyprus doctrine is applied in case of this waqf. So trust property may be alienated, but waqf property cannot be alienated. The trust need not be perpetual or irrevocable, but once a waqf is created, that is irrevocable and that is perpetual. Postponement of benefit to charity would make the trust illusory and thus void. Benefit to charity may be postponed. Now, again, what are the essential elements? What are the essential for a work? First, there must be a permanent dedication of property, either any property, by the donor. The dedication of Waqf property must be final. That dedication must be final, not with condition, and not revocable at the option of the Waqif. Third, the subject of the Waqf must belong to the Waqif. The property which is given, that must belong to the Waqif at the time when he dedicates that property. And it must not be dedicated with a view to defraud the creditor. Once dedication has been made, that to defraud the creditor, there is no valid Waqf. Then dedicator must completely divest himself of the ownership of the appropriate property from the time of the dedication to the Waqf effective. The purpose of the Waqf must be for the benefit of the mankind, and for objects which are recognized by the Muslim. What are the objects? What are the religious purposes? That is a list is there available. It may well be. So, what are the purposes for the Waqf? That in the connection, you may say, what may be the religious purposes? First, for mosque and provision, imams to conduct worship. Provision is that Waqf may be created for the benefit of a mosque and for provision of imam, this who is worshipping in the mosque, celebrating the birth of Ali Murtuza, for that Waqf can be created. Repairs of Imam Baras, maintenance, Khankalis. Imam Baras, Khankalis we will discuss later. Burning lamps in mosque, Waqf can be created. This is the religious purpose, pious purpose. Reading the Quran in public places and also at private houses, for that Waqf can be created. Maintenance to poor, relations and dependents, Waqf can be created. Payment of money to faqirs, grant to an idgah, grant to college and provision for profession to teach in colleges, breeze and caravan in sarais, distribution of alms to poor persons and assistance to poor to enable them to perform pilgrimage to Makkah, keeping taziyas in month of Muharram, and provision for camel and duldul for religious processing during Muharram. For that Waqf can be created. Celebrating the death anniversary of the settler and the members of the family. Performance of ceremonies known as Qadam Sharif. The construction of a covert or free boarding house. That is covert, free boarding house for the pilgrims at Makkah. Performing the annual fateh of the members of his family. A dargah or shrine of a pir which has long been held in, that is, veneration by the public. So what are not the religious purposes? Suppose objects prohibiting by Islam, that is erecting or maintaining a temple. If somebody Muhammadan gives, that cannot be Waqf, because that is not prohibited by Islam. Islam discourages, it doesn't allow, that is prohibits this idol worship. A Waqf for the repair of the Waqf's secular property is invalid, providing for the rich exclusively. If a Waqf is created to providing the for the rich exclusive, objects which are uncertain, a direction to spend certain sum of money for feasting Kachi Menon's Act every year on the anniversary of the settler's death, that is valid. So first you should understand three purposes. It must be perpetual. So then it must be absolute and unconditional. Possession must be given of the things appropriated. It must be entirely taken out of the Waqif, that the property must be let. So this is in nutshell how Waqf is created. Whether registration is document, how then whether a oral Waqf can be made? So yes, oral Waqf can be. The dedication of property should be in perpetuity. Where a Waqf is for a limited period, it is not a Waqf, it is not valid. Where the Waqif reserves to himself the power of revocation, the Waqif is void. If there is a condition in the Waqf that he can cancel the Waqf, that is void. A testamentary Waqf, that means a Waqf can be created by will also, that can be revoked by the Waqf before his death. When a testamentary Waqf has been created, that means by will, that can be revoked prior to death of the Waqif. When at the time of creating a non-testament Waqf, the Waqf reserves to himself the power to revoke the Waqf is invalid, because once there is a condition in the creation of the Waqf that the Waqif, that means the grantor, can revoke the Waqf. That means there is no permanent dedication. So that's it. That is not a valid Waqf. Whether Waqf needs registration, according to Mullah's Mohammedan law, a Waqfnama by which immovable property of the value of 100 and upwards is dedicated by of Waqf requires to be registered under the Indian Registration Act. Not Indian Registration Act, but according to Mullah's Mohammedan. Though the Waqf dedicator may have concealed himself sole mutawali thereof, but a trustee nama by which the appoints additional mutawali does not require. Trustee nama, additional mutawali are appointed, for that no registration is required. The Waqf may be made either verbally or in writing. But Mullah Mohammedan says, according to Mullah Mohammedan law, when a Waqf is created for property worth 100 rupees and upwards, needs registration. Waqf may be made either verbally or in writing. It is not necessary to constitute Waqf than the term Waqf. It is not necessary that it must be, the term Waqf must be mentioned in the document. It should be used in the grant. If from the general nature of the grant itself such a dedication can be inferred permanently, that is Waqf. Where it is not clear whether a grant concerns Waqf, the statement and conduct of the grantee and his successor not clear, then the statement, conduct of the grantor, his successor have to be taken into consideration, whether and method in which the property was used, was treated, and other circumstances, though not conclusive, are worthy of consideration. Those things may be taken into consideration to come to conclusion, to hold that there is a Waqf. If land has been used from time immemorial for a religious purpose, for a land is used for religious for time immemorial, then the land is by user Waqf, that is called user Waqf. Suppose there is no document etc., but a particular piece of land is used from time immemorial for the benefit of a particular for religious purpose, then that will be treated as Waqf, although there is no evidence on express dedication. So this is called user Waqf. Waqf by immemorial user. A Waqf normally requires express dedication, as you told, that is either verbal or in writing or by registration. But where there is no evidence to show how and when the alleged Waqf was granted, the Waqf may be established by evidence of user. It is used as Waqf property. If land has been used from time immemorial for religious purpose, such as masjid, for a particular masjid, for a particular religious purpose, as recognized by the Mohammedan law, the land is considered Waqf, though there is no evidence of express dedication. The rule of the original owner is, so in such case, the original's right is extinguished and the ownership of the property is vested with Almighty God. Land Joint stock company, any property may be subject to waqf. The Hedaya and Darul Mukhtar held the view, or were of the view that any movable property which people use usually do dedicate or government securities, shares in companies, debentures, those properties may be given in waqf. No valid waqf can be made in respect of the rights of a usufructed mortgage, because unless there is a permanent dedication of a property, there cannot be waqf. The house constructed in the graveyard was meant to be used for religious purpose, and therefore it becomes an accession to the waqf property. Even if suppose waqf is there, somebody constructed a house, this is accession to waqf property, and bore the same character as the other property is the compound. So this is waqf. Now, subject of waqf, that any property. So, what is Musa? Other day we discussed Musa, undivided share in a property is called Musa. Under the Mohammedan law, a Musa or an undivided share in property may, according to the more approved view from the subject of waqf, may be subject of waqf whether the property is capable of division or not. This is so far as waqf is concerned. The doctrine of Musa is not applicable. Even undivided share property may be given in for waqf. But the waqf of a Musa for a mosque or burial ground is not valid whether the property is capable of division or not. So undivided share in interest for only two purposes, that is mosque or burial ground, that is invalid. Abu Yusuf holds that the waqf of Musa is valid though the property may be capable of partition. As you know, if a property is capable of partition and undivided share is gifted, that is Musa of that property, that is invalid. That is the facet. So, but Abu Yusuf says, so it is, though the property, waqf of Musa is valid, though the property may be capable of division. He has declared that a waqf of Musa or a mosque or burial ground is invalid only. He gives two reasons: because the continuance of participation in anything is repugnant to its becoming the exclusive right of others. Then you should understand, only once waqf is created, the proprietary right of the waqifi or the grantor is extinguished. That right is created in favor of Almighty, and the usufruct of that waqf property is used for any religious purpose as recognized by the Mohammedan. Validity waqf. There is no general rule of Mohammedan law that the waqf by a person who is indebted and who does not make any arrangement in the deed of waqf for that debt is also void. That is, then what is the waqif? Who is a waqif? The person who creates waqf is called waqif, or the grantor of the waqf is called waqif. All person who can create a waqf, all person who is a Mohammedan, who is of sound mind and who is not a minor, can create waqf. All persons who are competent to make a valid gift are also competent to constitute a valid waqf. Any person who is sane and possessed of understanding and is a major is competent the purpose for creating waqf. The waqif must be major under Section 3 of the Indian Majority Act. He must also be the owner of the waqf, subject matter of the waqf property. The pure Muslim law does not recognize waqf made by non-Muslim. The pure Muslim, suppose a non-Muslim person, a Hindu person, a Christian person, creates a waqf. Can a valid waqf be created? But the pure Muslim law does not recognize creation of waqf by a non-Muslim. Although in certain cases, the dedication of land as graveyard by a Hindu has been held to be valid. In certain cases, pure Muslim, but in certain cases, dedication of land by a Hindu for graveyard, that is valid. The waqf made under coercion or undue influence is also invalid. As regards the capacity of the waqif to make a waqf by will, he cannot bequeath more than third of his property. Similarly, like the principle, the rule of for will or wasiat, that will be applicable. A Mohammedan cannot make waqf exceeding one third of his property, even by way of waqf, unless the other heirs consent. His powers, what is the powers? The moment a waqf is created, all rights of the waqif in the property comes to an end. Waqif may, however, reserve to himself the man. Only the waqif may reserve the power to manage the property, that he may be a mutawali. He can or manage or endowment or appoint a mutawali in his lifetime or of nominating his successor. He may reserve the right to use the usufructs of the waqf property in any way he likes during his lifetime. The waqif or the founder of the waqf may reserve a right that he can use the usufruct only for his lifetime. He may provide for his maintenance or for the payment of his debt from the income of the property. He may reserve the power to alter the beneficiaries or devotees or their interest in the waqf. So, but under the Shia and Shafi'i law, the waqif has no power to reserve any usufruct of the property. But under Sunni law, the waqif may take the usufruct during his lifetime. A waqf may be made either by act intra vivos or by will. That is, it may be made either orally or in writing. It is reduced, it is registered under the Registration Act. No particular form is required. It is not necessary that the term waqf must be used in the document or in the contract. So here, Mohammedan law, to constitute a value, there must be an intention to dedicate on the part of the waqif. Once there is an effective declaration of waqf, it cannot be revoked. That is testamentary by will. It is now settled law that a testamentary waqf can be made both by Hanafi and Shia Muslim. A testamentary waqf means waqf made by will, called testamentary waqf. That is subject to registration as a bequest in favor of individual. So that is not exceeding one third unless other heirs consent, and that can be revoked during the lifetime of the waqif. So act intra vivos, as you know, that is a waqif intra vivos is completed according to our by a mere declaration. When declaration is made, that is called waqf created by intra vivos. Delivery of possession is not necessary. Once waqf is created, that becomes valid and that cannot be revoked. Rules relating to waqf. So it is not necessary that our waqf should be used in the document expressly. A waqf created by will is valid. Waqf created during lifetime of the waqifi, even if there be no express dedication of property, can be declared by waqf by mere user, that is user waqf. Or if a property is used for any charitable purpose for a long period, that will be treated as user, waqf by user. Even if there will be no waqf in the proper sense of the term, a property may be declared to be trust property if it is found to be burdened with obligation for the purpose of charitable. In all cases, the acting or statement of the grantee or his successor may be relevant, taken into account as to whether interpretation of the original grant, while the method in which the property has been treated, whether the property has been treated as waqf or not, that is to be considered. The question whether a waqf was acted upon or not cannot affect the validity of the waqf. It can only be useful for the purpose of finding out the intention of the waqif. Express dedication of property to the ownership of the god to an essential condition for a valid waqf. Contingent and conditional waqf. A waqf cannot be made to depend on the happening of a contingency. If this will happen, this will be no, that is invalid. If it is created dependent on the happening of an, it is altogether invalid. That is altogether. If the settler says, if this house be my property, it is appropriated as a pious offering. If I will get this property, I will purchase this property, then I will create this waqf. So that is that the property is given in waqf. That is it. So, Fatiha means the court in the case was not concerned with the question whether the offering of Fatiha could be a valid object of Waqf. What is Fatiha? That is following are the valid objects for the Waqf. What are those valid objects? Muslim mosque and provision for imams to worship, performance of Hajj out of the income of a poor person, giving financial aid to Hajj pilgrimage, various things are there. So here, feeding the travelers at Makkah for appointment drum beater of a Khanka, all those religious purposes as recognized by the Muhammad law, Waqf can be created. Now, invalid object of the Waqf means that is, the objects have been held to be invalid or irrelevant. Reading Quran at tombs, that is immoral, that is invalid object, because Quran is never read at a tomb or grave. Construction of a church, if a Waqf is created, that is not valid. Maintenance of a private tomb or burning lamps on a private tomb, but public tomb, that is burning of lamps, Waqf can be created. But maintenance of a tomb of a saint is valid. According to Wilson, the performance of Fatiha, that is, Fatiha means distribution of alms. Fatiha means distribution of alms, accompanied by prayer for the soul of deceased person. Distribution of prayer, distribution of alms, accompanied by prayer for the soul of the deceased person, has been held both at Madras and Allahabad to be valid object of Waqf. Now, what is doctrine of Cyprus? What is doctrine of Cyprus? We have also studied in this doctrine of Cyprus in civil procedure code, that is trust property, maintenance of trust property, application of trust property. What is doctrine of Cyprus means as nearly as possible. Cyprus means where the testator has indicated a general charitable intention in the bequest made by him, and if that bequest fails for a particular purpose, Waqf has been created, but that purpose could not be made from that usurper, that fails. The court can devote the property to religious charitable purpose according to the Cyprus doctrine as nearly as possible. The word Cyprus means near or as near as may be. Cyprus means near or nearer as may be. It implies that whenever the execution of a charitable trust in the way expressed by the settler is impossible, suppose a Waqf has been created for a particular purpose, and that is impossible. Settlers, that usurper cannot be used for that purpose. It is now impossible to perform that, or becomes impracticable. The gift or Waqf will not fail, but the court will execute it by applying the doctrine of Cyprus as nearly as possible to the purpose desired or intended by the settler. If there is a substantial dedication for a valid object, it will not cease to be a Waqf because some objects are mentioned which are not valid object of the Waqf. So doctrine of Cyprus means when for a particular purpose Waqf has been created, but it is now impossible to use the usurper for that purpose, then court may use that direct for use of that property as near as for other purpose as indicated in the Waqf. If there is a substantial dedication for a valid object, it will not cease to be a Waqf because some objects are mentioned which are not valid. Even if it Waqf, there are different substance. Actually, this honestly a property has been given in Waqf. If some objects are mentioned which are not valid object, for that a Waqf will not be treated as valid. The Waqf will be valid and the whole income will apply to the valid object. Under the Mohammedan law, a Waqf can fail for want of an object, for it is distinctly provided that when the primary object fails, the Waqf will be applied for the benefit of an object nearest in character to the first. Primary object fails, then that workup may be applicable to a nearer object. The workup will be applied for the benefit of an object nearest in charitable to the first. So, doctrine of Cyprus means as near as possible. It is not correct to say that when some of the dispositions made in a workup are found to be invalid, the court can uphold and give effect to the remaining disposition only by invoking the doctrine. The efficacy of a settlement of property cannot be destroyed in entirety on account of the existence of therein some provision. So you should only know what is doctrine of Cyprus. Doctrine of Cyprus is a doctrine of equity. Under equity, and its course has not been confined to any rigidity fixed. Rigidity will not be applied, but as nearly as possible, that work of property, the income of the work of property will be utilized for other purpose recognized by money. So work of or religious is not vague, that must be vague or indefinite and is valid under Mohammedan law. All works of religious charity, public utility can be proper object of work. Then wakaf, how many kinds of wakaf? Two types of wakaf. One is public wakaf and the other is private wakaf. Public or private. According as the purpose of the wakaf and the property devoted is for religious charitable nature, that is public wakaf. Public wakaf are utility are purely religious and charitable trust. Purely religious and charitable trust, that is public wakaf, dedicated to the public at large. Such wakafs are termed as wakaf Masli ul Amma. Private wakaf have for their main object the granting of benefit for private individuals, including the settlers' family. The private wakaf, this private including the settlers' family or relations. Such wakaf are termed wakaf all awlad. Wakaf in favor of an unborn child is valid, although a gift in their favor is invalid. So this is private wakaf and public. Apart from the wakaf being public or private, they may also be quasi-public wakaf. There may be a wakaf, quasi-public wakaf, quasi-public wakaf, partly public and partly private. Wakafs may be divided from another point of view. According to Syed Amir, they are of three kinds. For the affluent first, and then after them for the indigent, affluent person, indigent person, for the affluent and indigent equally, and for the indigent exclusively. Poor person, rich person, both for poor and rich person. The first class of wakaf includes wakif in favor of individuals. The second class of wakaf consists of dedication to the benefit of which both affluent and indigent person are benefited. There is a Muslim Waqf Validating Act 1913 that also defines what is Waqf. Section 2(1) of the Muslim Waqf Validating Act 1930 defines Waqf as meaning a permanent dedication of a person professing Muslim faith of any property for any purpose recognized in Muslim law as religious, pious or charitable. This is definition. This is the definition in Waqf Validating Act, Muslim Waqf Validating Act of 1930. This is in nutshell Waqf. Rule relating to under the ordinary law, it is not open to a person to tie up his property. So in such case, rule against perpetuity, that is not applicable. And give the income of its children and its, that is not applicable. Then you should know also some provisions regarding the effect of the Waqf Act 1913. Before passing of the act, substantial dedication to charity was regarded essential to valid Waqf. Now a Waqf, as per the Waqf validated Waqf, can be created also for the benefit of the grantor and his family members. Waqf may reserve some benefit for himself. As per this effect of Waqf, effect of Waqf Act 1930. The Act validates a provision in favor of the settler. As per the Waqf Validating Act 1930, Waqf can be created in favor by settling the property in favor of the for the benefit of the settler and his family members. The word family has been used in the Act in its broad popular sense as to include all persons descended from it. The ultimate dedication in charity need only to provide after the passing of the Act. That is, you should know something. Then again, that the Waqf Act 1950 for the other state enactments of various states, there are also enactments regarding Waqf. Then Waqf for a mosque, as you know, a mosque is, what is a mosque? Mosque is a place of worship of a Muhammad for prayer, and is Waqf property. Irrespective of the fact that the mosque was built by some private individual, even the Waqf can be created. That is Waqf for the mosque, public mosque and deprivation from the original. So that is Waqf when completed is irrevocable. Now, in the next class, we will discuss the other provisions regarding what is the powers of the Mutawali and who is a Mutawali, what is his powers, and other institutions which are connected in Waqf.